A lot of the questions are, is there anybody on our side that has a good opportunity to take on the Clinton political machine? Folks, I'm the only one who's ever done it, because every election I ever ran in Arkansas, every time, I didn't just run against an opponent. I ran against the entire political apparatus that the Clintons had built over a 25-year period. Every time I was ever on the ballot, both Bill and Hillary Clinton came and campaigned for my opponent. I've never been bitter about it. It made me a better candidate, because here's the fact. I not only took them on, but I repeatedly beat them, and I live to tell about it. That's why I'm here today.
All right, that was Governor Mike Huckabee in Arkansas on Thursday. I'm sorry, not in Arkansas, in Iowa on Thursday. The former Arkansas governor and current presidential candidate. Mike, good to talk to you again. And I just want to ask you about what do you mean by "and I live to tell about it"?
Well, it's hardball when you play against these folks. And the fact that I survived repeated contests with them politically is a great indication that I'm tough enough to do it again. You know, because there were some, there had been talk in the past about some people who didn't survive to talk about it. Were you referencing that at all? I'll let the listener decide, but I think most people, when they heard me say that, knew that my tongue was firmly planted in my cheek.
Okay, so so you're leaving it open for interpretation.
Well, of course, but I mean, I'm not making reference to anything in particular, other than whether I was speaking metaphorically of political surviving or otherwise. I will leave it to the listener.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so let's let's talk about it. It struck me the second I heard it, and I'm sure it wasn't just me. But let me ask you about Hillary and the accusations, the top secret emails now that we find out last week that they discussed the drone program and may have referenced classified information. Does Hillary survive this? And let me ask you also, would you call for Hillary Clinton to get out of the race because of these circumstances?
Well, I wouldn't call for her to get out of the race, because I hope she stays in. I think she's going to be such a damaged and wounded candidate without credibility of trust that she would be an ideal person to run against for the Republicans. So let's hope she stays in. I don't see how she can convince the American people that they ought to trust her with the nuclear launch codes when she might, in fact, leave them at a Chipotle restaurant sitting on the table. This is a serious issue. And the fact is, some things can be said are political, and so it's all in the realm of politics. Steve, this is not a political issue. This is a legal issue. And what we're dealing with is whether or not she broke the law. Everyone who looks at the law, whoever understands it, and let me add, as a governor, I had top secret clearance because after 9/11, the governors of the states were asked to go through the process to get top secret clearance so that we could get information about Homeland Security, be a part of our Joint Terrorism Task Force. Well, we went through a very thorough process, not only of a background check and having the FBI go back and talk to everyone from our childhood friends, but then we had a briefing with FBI agents to make sure we understood what we had to do to protect any information that was given to us that was classified or that was ultimately top secret. When I left office, I had to go back through another exit interview, and I had to pledge and swear that I had not leaked any information and that I would not ever tell anything that I might have known as a course of my being the governor. So, you know, for her to pretend like, well, gee, I didn't know. See, that absolutely is nonsense. There's no way, after being a first lady, after having been a U.S. senator and the Secretary of State, that she would have been oblivious to how this process works. And in fact, if anything, let's not forget Hillary Clinton, when she was still Hillary Rodham and working up on Capitol Hill on the Watergate committee, she knew darn well what cover-up was all about, and she should have learned an important lesson way back in 1972 and 3.
Yep, I think she was booted from that committee.